Yeah, that's right. Free Patreon Friday. Yeah. Check. Zane. Hey, listen, man. Zane, where's my intro been? I made you an intro and you don't use it. Now, where is it, man? Okay. See if we got a few new people in here. Always fun on Free Patreon Friday. You can see what all the fuss is about, which is no fuss. No fuss. Hang on. Look at O'Neal. He is so... We'll talk about that. Oops, I'm out. Hold on a second. I'm screwing this up already.
Hey everyone, Zaniac Kenny from Nashville here. And after a long day of rocking out to some crappy death metal, I like to unwind with the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. Yeah, death. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
Wow.
My name is Homer J. Simpson, and I am a Zaniac. Zany. And, ooh, it's time for the Patreon bonus.
This is the Eric Zane Show podcast, powered by the Zaniacs.
What's going on, folks? How you doing? Here we go. I'm going to take, let's see, today is the 20th. I'm going to take Christmas off. Let's see. Yeah, Christmas, I actually have the day off from the radio station. I work Christmas Eve. Schedule is busy. I tell you, I am just lucky. You will never, ever hear me complain these days. I am a I know John Fogerty said, I ain't no fortunate son. I am. I'm a fortunate son. As we sit here in the Back Alley Comedy Club studio, O'Neal is, this dog is he is sprawled out on more than half of this couch, and he's like half on his back, and he's like spread so that there's no modesty whatsoever. His Johnson is just sticking right out. O'Neal is actually, if he had balls, they would be resting on Bruce. He is so damn chill. Fantastic. Welcome into the podcast. Here we go. I'm really, really considering, now this could change quickly, where I get out of work today at 7 o'clock and then go and see Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. I really want to do that because lately I've been staying up late. I'll just be at home staring at the walls. Really considering that. But this changes dramatically with me. You know, I get tired. I'm old. I'm not Mark Wahlberg. I still cannot believe how jacked Mark Wahlberg is. You have got to see that photo in the comments of the audio podcast. In fact, I've got it on ericzaneshow.com in the news section, but I linked to it directly in the free podcast in the comments. You have got to see that dude. My God, is he pumped? But I wish he would reveal how much. I mean, did he? If these are all his products, I mean, and he did it in 6 months, that would be his job to get in that great a shape. Yeah, that's completely different than what you and I go through. You and I work for a living. We don't have time to treat our bodies like it's a job. I've been through that. When I was doing Ironman triathlons, man, that is like, it seems like another life. Because though I still would love to do that again, the time commitment for what I wanted to achieve was 25 hours a week. 25 hours a week. Every day. And it was a good thing that my job description at the time at the old world-famous Free Beer and Hot Wings show was just basically go in, sit down, be a dumbass, and go home. I worked, okay, let's say I got there to the radio station at best 5 minutes before showtime. And then I would go and sit down after the show and try to look busy. I did nothing. There probably till 11:30. I would always wait until Greg left. If Greg's walking out, then I'd go out too. I wanted to give the illusion that I was working. There was no work there whatsoever. So, with all of that extra time, you could do that. Nowadays, it's a little different. The game is over. The game has changed where, I have there is always something to do. If I was single and didn't have a family, I would be wake up to go to bed all day. It would be so crazy. There's so much to do in trying to build this podcast. There will come a day, don't worry, where you wouldn't anyway, where, I don't have to work so hard, where it's on like, cruise control. But we're not there yet. It's going to take another significant amount of time of grinding in order to be appropriately built to where, all right, we can relax a little bit. It's getting easier, but still very, very hard. But I love it. It is absolutely a joy to be here doing this. But the point is, then I would spend that much time swimming, biking, running, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run. Oh, my God. I was so into it. And you know what changed it all in addition to doing this? Before this podcasting, I gave it up. And the reason why is because I started camping. And then I was like, shit, this, let's see. I could spend my weekend Saturday, wake up at the butt crack of dawn and, run forever and then swim forever and then be exhausted for the rest of the day. And then wake up Sunday morning and do it and then bike all around everywhere for like 6 hours. No exaggeration. Or I could go to a destination, sit by a fire, drink fake beers, bone outside. Yeah, that's right. Outside boning. It's happened. Eat s'mores, eat a wiener, make Diana eat my wiener. I mean, like actual hot dog. And then then bone some more, go to bed, wake up at 2 a.m, bone, wake up in the morning, eat eggs and fertilize eggs, Plan B pill, more egg eating, more bacon, go out, drink some fake beers, hurt myself, put on a roof, cut down some trees, leave them there, bone. Yeah, that's a lot more fun than being an asshole and being the best at fitness. It was fun while it lasted, I guess, and I can say I did it. But at the end of the day, I like camping a lot better. Some of that might be exaggerated. Can you guess what part? All right. So in Michigan, we've got this governor who's nice to look at, but she's absolutely horrible. Governor Whitmer has done nothing. Let's review the major talking points, the major things that have gone on. The governor won the election against Bill Schuette because she said, I'm going to fix the damn roads. Fix the damn roads. Blah, blah, blah. Fix the damn roads. You can count on it. I'm going to fix the damn roads. I'm tough as shit. Yeah. And everybody in Michigan's like, yeah. We want a Democrat. Schuette's he's in cahoots with that guy who poisoned Flint. I don't even remember the last governor's name. Snyder. Snyder poisoned Flint. Fuck him. Whitmer, fix the roads. Yeah. She goes, I'm gonna. Don't worry. So she gets in office, and then she immediately says, it's time to fix the roads. You're gonna pay for them. And she enacted an idea for like a 45 cent a gallon tax, which would immediately make Michigan the most expensive state to buy gas in by a lot, by like a ton. Now, when the debates were going on, Schuette said she's going to raise your gas tax $0.25 a gallon. And she said, that's insane. I will not do anything like that. Well, she wasn't lying. She didn't mean a quarter. She meant 45 cents because that's what she said. The bill was dead on arrival. Everyone was like, fuck you. She's the worst. So, yeah, now if she had run on, I'm going to fix the roads and you all have to pay a lot of money for it, she would not have been elected. So this was a bait and switch. Now, at that point, she is, a month into her tenure and has already ruined it for me. You're out. You're out of the club, okay? You had one shot, Mom Spaghetti, and you blew it. All right. Then she went and did that I am the king, thou shall not, or I am the queen, thou shall not vape anymore nonsense. This terrible government overreach where she went on the strength of a viral story about people dying and getting sick from vaping, turned out to be all sorts of black market additives in the THC-laced cartridges made in like some guy's basement. It wasn't the actual usable products that are made responsibly by manufacturers where, yeah, this is a nicotine-based product, but what the fuck? People smoke cigarettes all the time. She tried to wipe out the entire industry in the state of Michigan. Well, the vaping industry sued her and won. There was an injunction or a restraining order put on her, so she does not, though she declared it a health emergency. Some crazy willy-nilly sky is falling Democratic bullshit that we've seen so many times. She tried to end that with this ridiculous government overreach and no go. So now I haven't heard too much more about what this hot chick has been doing, but this story just emerged. She has the hunters and the conservationists want to end a ban on deer baiting. Now, hunters, they throw apples on their property. The deer eat the apples. They kind of stay nearby. That's how you hunt. Well, apparently she got the idea through somebody was in her ear telling her that promotes chronic wasting disease. Now, that's not the case. But she believes it because, A, she's crazy, and second, she's all about Democratic government overreach and having her fucking fingers in everything. So the hunters hate this shit because that's difficult. Well, the hunters have adapted to some degree. Some smart people have created a product where you can basically grow a garden. It takes a little time, but it works, and the deer eat that way. The thought is the deer's spit gets on the bait, and then other deer eat it, and then it is transmission of the disease. That is proven to be not true. So the garden is the same thing. The deer are eating the food in these deer gardens, and the same thing's happening. The deer's spit's getting on the food, and it's the same exact thing. But yet they've said, look, can you just make it so that we can make it so that we can bait the deer again? And the dumb bitch vetoed it. Listen to this.
Well, as promised, Governor Whitmer shooting down a bill today that looked to do away with the deer baiting ban.
It means it's still against the law for hunters to bait deer and elk in all of the Lower Peninsula and parts of the UP. News 8's Jacqueline Francis heard both sides of the debate and joins us in studio tonight with a new strategy hunters are turning to. Jacqueline?
Now, before we get into the story, you need to know that this is Jacqueline Francis, translation Beth Mowins. One of our great listeners, has figured out her speech impediment. And I'm going to make, and I've struggled with it too. I'm like, what am I hearing there? What is she doing? So John pointed out that she puts a SH sound at the end of where there's an S. So hunters becomes hunters. The hunters, not hunters. It's hunters. Jacqueline Francis is Jacqueline Francis. It drives me so crazy, but I now have it isolated as to what she's doing.
Marley and Brian, although the baiting ban has been in effect for nearly a year, many hunters were holding on to hope that
The hunters.
it was only temporary. But the governor made it clear today the ban isn't going anywhere.
Hunting in Michigan is a huge tradition.
A tradition that doesn't take well to change.
We've been doing baiting, for 2 generations, where you fill your bucket full of bait, you walk out, you dump it in a pile, and they really don't necessarily have a strategy other than that.
Many hunters continue to bash the deer baiting ban that's here to stay. In vetoing the bill to
If I'm the news director, I say, look, you're doing a great job. You're young, energetic, you're a go-getter, but you need speech therapy going forward. That's her speech impediment is just as big as this story is.
Turn the ban, the governor said the restrictions on baiting deer has helped control the spread of destructive diseases like chronic waste disease. On the other side of the debate, the bill's supporters say the ban doesn't really prevent the spread of disease like the governor says, but that it does push people away from hunting in our state.
Yes.
Which is frustrating for the hunter who loses that primary source of drawing the deer in so that they can have a successful hunt.
To Nick Percy, it's just about finding a new technique.
Why Killer Food Plot? Well, our focus...
His company, Killer Food Plots, offers a legal alternative to baiting by growing food sources to attract the deer more naturally.
So he calls it it's called Killer Food Plot is his company. I would call it fuck you, Governor Whitmer, get your deer to eat this shit plot. That's what I would say.
You're basically growing a garden for the deer to come in and ravage.
Since the ban took effect at the beginning of the year, Percy's seen a boost in business. And while the DNR says there's
this guy wants the ban lifted, and it's keeping his business. The ban is good for this guy's business, yet he's saying we need to get rid of the ban. He only created the company because of the ban.
research that shows food plots are better than baiting when it comes to the risk of disease transmission. They don't have the rights to regulate it.
Being able to regulate would be telling the farmer he could no longer grow soybeans or corn.
While there's no denying food plots take time
I love how they found a way around Whitmer's thing. That's awesome.
money, Percy sees it as a start in finding an overall solution. Nick Percy will be at next month's Hunting Expo at the Deltaplex in Walker, giving seminars on food plots. To learn more, just head to our website, woodtv.com. In studio, Jacqueline Francis, News 8.
That's the Hunting Time Expo. That's I remember that. I used to go there all the time for various radio things. That's where you go for your Spot the Black Guy game. You can play Spot the Black Guy. You can play Spot the Democrat. And if you see any of those things, you win a prize. That is a quite a sightseeing adventure at the big Hunting Expo at the Deltaplex. I am fully in support of hunters being able to do whatever they want. Come on, give me a break. This governor is such a pain in the ass to people. And you people voted her in. What is wrong with you? How could you have done that? Come on. Michigan can't deer bait? Bait the deer? Are you crazy? My God. Again, we welcome new people in on a free Patreon Friday. Somebody just said, hey, Zane, long time no see. So I forgot. I can't tell who it is. But welcome to you. This is what we do on Patreon. It's an extra podcast each and every day with my dogs. It appears they're about to start 69ing in a minute. The way they are crashed out here. My God. Sexy Voice Andrea is going to play Dale in Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia coming up on Tuesday right here on Patreon. That's the only place you can check the game out. Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia with Throat/Dale. We'll pipe in Andrea via Skype, and you can watch it live or listen back to it recorded on demand on Patreon. And the only way to play the game is to be on Patreon. But your work's not done there. If you're on Patreon, you got to let me know that you're on Skype because I need your username. So once you let me know, I'll put your name into the drawing for the prize to be actually to play. The prize is awarded by Bennett Flooring Installations. Thanks to them. $25 per game. Thank you, Bennett Flooring Installations. All right. Who knew that J.K. Rowling, I don't know if you saw this, J.K. Rowling, the author behind all of the entire Harry Potter thing, is, licensed to print money. The woman at a period of time was like a single mom. She didn't have two nickels to rub together. She put her thoughts down in the very first Harry Potter book, and it busted out to be a cultural phenomena that the world just has never been able to do anything but love. And with all of the books, all of the films, it has made her one of the richest people that has ever been alive on the planet. Like, no joke. Of all the people that have earned money when you change, like the Rockefellers, you've changed the amount of money they made for inflation, it would result in them being, right up there with you got the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, and J.K. Rowling is right there. She is absolutely enormously wealthy, and she is a bigot. Yes, she's a bigot. Holy shit. She tweeted support for a woman. A woman got fired who stated her views on transgender. Okay? Now, I thought it was pretty much accepted in the nature versus nurture thing that a person can be born as a boy but feel like they are a woman. In some cases, that might result in homosexuality. Sometimes it might result in changing one's gender, or sometimes just living a very tortured life where you are a man, but you want to be a woman. Now, I can't even begin to wonder what type of life that would be like. I'm very sympathetic towards that, and I do believe that is the case. That it isn't like people say, hey, I think I'm going to be a girl today. That's crazy. I don't think that it works that way. I think that these people are very pained. Like, for example, Bruce Jenner becoming Caitlyn Jenner. Bruce Jenner always felt like he, at the time, was a woman. And it wasn't until later in life that he finally, pulled the trigger on the deal and became a woman. Whatever. I do not get wound up in this and indict people on anything like this. I'm very progressive in my thinking towards this and accepting. J.K. Rowling is not. Some bitch got fired in England for stating that men cannot change into women. Rowling is supporting the dumb bitch who is saying that a guy is a guy and a girl is a girl. How can you possibly say that if you haven't walked a step in that person's shoes? Rowling has found herself in the midst of a major Twitter storm after lending her public support to a British woman who recently lost her job as a result of sharing her beliefs about a person's sex, that it is immutable. It is a immutable biological fact. Rowling tweeted, dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real. I stand with Maya. This is not a drill. The tweet quickly racked up 41,000 likes and more than 17,000 comments. She concluded her tweet with the hashtag, this is not a drill. I said that. The latter referring to the case of Maya Forstater, the woman at the center of the controversy. Forstater got fired as a think tank researcher after an employment tribunal ruled that her opinions on biological sex were described as absolutist. It's the first time I've seen that. I guess that means that describes how she feels. Forstater, 45-year-old, was visiting a fellow at the Center for Global Development, which campaigns against poverty and inequality. Her contract was not renewed in March after a dispute over her tweets declaring that transgender women cannot change their biological sex and voicing opposition to government proposals to reform the Gender Recognition Act, which would allow people to self-identify their gender. So this dummy's taking a hard stance. If you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, you're a woman. And that's it. There is no way we can actually have anything other than that. My way or the highway, which is fine. You're entitled to that. But her boss finally said, you know what? You're kind of a pain in the ass, and we don't really believe that either, so you're fired. Okay, that's the way it goes. So Forstater said, I'm shocked. I cannot believe this. Oh, my man, this is terrible. Sex is a biological fact. It is immutable. There are two sexes, male and female. Men and boys are male. This is people who get wrapped up in that, if you're a boy, you're a boy. You can't say you're a girl. But try to understand that this isn't a choice by these poor people. It's a very, very difficult thing that a person deals with. And you can't understand unless you actually try to put yourself into what they're going through. They're not trying to do it out of convenience. Do you think, actually, that a person who is a man and goes the extra mile to become a woman, all the medicines involved, the cost, the anguish, the mental struggle, that they would choose to do that because they just want to? You stupid fuck. It's because that's how they feel that they should be chemically, like the way they should be, but something went wrong along the way. Maybe when they were a baby, maybe when they were in the womb. Who knows? But it isn't like they chose that. So shut up. You got fired. Good. I'm glad you did. Rowling, on the other hand, now everybody's beating the shit at her because they thought that she would be like woke, But she apparently is not. So now Rowling is screwed. Everybody's pissed off at her. I don't think she's really screwed. I mean, like I said, she's one of the richest people on the planet. What the fuck does she care? Why do these people go ahead and make these stands anyway? What's the point? Just to satisfy your own primal urge to, be right in the matter? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know why people put themselves out there and risk losing their job or their livelihood or whatnot over something as stupid as this. Just leave them alone. I think you're much better off. This person is that the woman who inspired millions of kids to be good to each other, include each other despite our differences, and stand up against those who would oppress us, is now a bigot herself. Oh, fuck. Good job, man. Just game, set, and in to give their thoughts. And there's the various tweets. They refer to her as a TERF, which stands for something mean. If you're known as you don't want to be known as a transgender, exclusionary, radical feminist. Now, you might think that somebody like me, who's always talking about a shit kicker, is going to vote for Trump. And that's the mystery of Eric Zane. I 100% support transgender people, and when it comes to things like this, and I don't get into this shit about you can't have this and you can't have that and you can't be this and you can't be that. That's because I'm a deep motherfucker. So, transgender, exclusionary, radical feminists. J.K. Rowling is a TERF. It has gained serious traction on Twitter. What do you think, folks? I would love to hear from you at any one time. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. That's how you reach me. That is the email that it seems like nobody does email anymore. I don't hear from you people that much, and it seems like that's gone that way in general. It isn't just that I'm a completely unpopular boob. Well, that is true. But it seems like people like to respond via the comments. But if that is your thing, do me a favor and follow the show on Reddit and leave a comment there. Reddit.com/r/the Eric Zane Show. That is it. I'm going to be at the radio station by noon. It's 11:03. I love being right all the time. Damn it. I'm so full of rightness and righteousness and wellness and good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. We'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great one. Yeah. Somebody says radio station. One of the new people checking out the YouTube video. He says radio station. He isn't aware. Yeah, we're at a radio station. That's what I want you to do. Phone call almost crashed the video. Sunday, I'm on the radio on 101.3 The Brew in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can download the iHeartRadio app, 1013thebrew.com. I am on from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday. I play rock music and talk Ramp Records. I'm on next week, too, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. all week long on The Brew. Don't be a stranger. Talk to you down the road. Thank you so much, folks. Bye-bye.